बोधितां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीं अष्टादशाध्यायिनीं Manusandatami Bhagavad-gite Bhagavad-gite. Swamiji, one small confusion. See, now I am hearing to Sundar Kumar for Saundarya Lahari on Ambal's greatness, Ambal's. So this just check this Chetana Rupa Jada Shakti Jada. Just check the and the last just Shakti that you talked with respect to us, and the just Shakti that he talks with respect to Ambal. So can we say when we are listening to that, we should be in that mode. When we are coming to here, we should be listening in this mode. Understand this. How do I connect both, Swamiji?
Both the same only. You see, Ishvara, that is what we are talking about now. The Ishvara Swarupa and Swaswarupa are one and the same. Why? Because both are changeless, timeless, spaceless, limitless, not a thing. When something is not a thing, how can it be two different things? It has to be only one. So only thing is that Shakti Swarupam and the Ishvara part of it as a what you call as a deity, as a Ishta Daivam and all that, it appeals to people who don't do Atma Vichara through Vedanta texts like Gita, Upanishad and all that. People who have not yet come to that. Even then, for them also, you are able to surrender your body, mind, intellect, life, whatever is happening, unto the Shakti or Ishta Devam, anything. If you are able to do that, then there is unity there also. Your own body, mind, senses, life, expectation, everything, you are surrendering unto Ishvara Shakti. Okay? Once you do that, there again there is a unity. If you do it for some time, what will happen is, see, there is a unity there, so because of the unity, for the period you are doing that puja or bhakti, there will be that oneness feeling. So the oneness is essentially the objective. Oneness is there, now that you have surrendered everything unto Bhagavan, during that period of puja and all that, or the sloka, chanting, whatever, bhajan, whatever. So that oneness is there. Now, the Shastra, what it says is, once you are having that bhakti for some time, there will be always a question, if everything of mine is surrendered unto Ishvara or Shakti, then what am I? See, everything is given, like I am now teaching to the teachers of the school. Yesterday I had a session. There is a saying that everything is given. If everything is given, the giver is Ishvara. But to whom it is given? Simple language, transitive verb. Given means what? To somebody it is given. If everything, including your body, mind, senses, your life, others' life, everything is given, to whom it is given? To you. What is that you? If your body, mind, senses, emotions, everything is given, then who? To somebody it is given, not to who? To you. What is that you? That means your you is not your body, mind, senses. What is that you? It is not the mind also. It is a being. The being that you are. I am. It is not objectified. It is not space bound or time bound. It is not a thing. That you. So, that you and the Swarupa of Ishvara cannot be different, because that is also nameless, formless, timeless, motionless, Purnam. See, the Purnam limitless has to be Niravayava. Niravayava means without limbs. Has to be without limbs. And even without limbs you and without limbs Ishvara, how can it be different? So eventually the oneness will be, you will arrive at it. You will arrive at it by Shastra Vichara. But Shastra Vichara, for you to get into, you need an equanimity of mind. For that only Bhakti helps. Bhakti, Karma Yoga, the way in which you live your lifestyle, the Dharma Anusar, living a life of Dharma, gives you that equanimity. That equanimity helps you to ask this fundamental question, helps you to study, sit and study Shastra. Then you will understand that finally the Ishvara Swarupa and Diva Swarupa are one and the same. So that is called Bhakti, this is called Jnana. Bhakti is Upaya, Jnana is the ultimate. Ultimate understanding is because we are looking ultimately, all our whole life effort is to gain this Purnatvam, the self-conscious being which we are, and because we are self-conscious, we are self-judging, all the time judging. Judging means what? I want to be better than what I am. What I have taken myself to be. So the only way you can be better and better and better and better is to be a situation where you can't get any better. And that you can't get any better, we can call it as infinite. So the infinite cannot have coordinates. It cannot be time bound or space bound, it cannot be an object. So that is what you are, essentially, you right now. That is what I have mentioned in that article. That is a good nididhyasanam. In the sense, every day morning, if you are able to, that being the awareful being is not a big deal at all, because that is your reality. Only that you must own up. For owning up, we have been for centuries, for janmas, we have always associated ourselves with the body, mind and senses and all that. Now, to be the being which you are, which we have talked about in the first 6 chapters, it needs a certain infrastructure inside. That infrastructure is getting created by your Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Surrendering for the time being, surrender all your mind, body, senses, all your life, achievements as well as problems, everything unto Ishvara. Because we have postulated Ishvara as the recipient of all our glories and all our troubles. Anything and everything, that's what we are reading now. Bhagavan says, keeps on telling, everything me. Bhagavan is telling and we are reading that. Because that is how we have postulated. Bhagavan has been postulated as omniscient and omnipotent. So unto which we are surrendering everything. But that is only a tool, because the reality of our being is what we can know here and now. The reality of Ishvara is endless. Even here what he is going to tell is that this is how I am, everything is me only. But everything we cannot know. We can keep on adding, but there is no end to it. But finally, my own Swarupa is the same. That can, right now we can see, we have seen in the first chapters, the Tvampadartha. What is me, the awareful being? That I can see right now. That is what essentially it is going to be the same. So that is why they have explained Tvampadartha clearly in the first 6 chapters. Now we will, so that the idea is, if you are able to relate to it, the next 6 chapters and the next 6 chapters will be able to understand the equation. Tat Tvamasi. Tvam has been explained. Tat will be explained. The equation you will understand. So that is why we have to carry this understanding. We must be able to do the meditation, the contemplation, as I have mentioned in the write-up. Anything and everything that is happening around, you must be able to see this is all the awareful being, it's all happening. It's all only name and form. That we must be able to bring into our conscious living all the time. That's what we are trying to do now. Yeah, let us read the 10th sloka. Let's start with
10th sloka.
Start.
Bijam mam sarva bhutanam viddhi partha sanatanam buddhimatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham. Kannadi. Partha, O son of Pritha, Arjuna, me, Parameshwara, sarva bhutanam, in all beings, Sanatanam Bijam as the eternal seed, Viddhi, you understand, Buddhimatam, of those that have the capacity to discriminate, that is the human beings. Buddhihi, the intellect, Tejasvinam, in the brilliant, Tejas, the brilliance, Aham Asmi, I am. Partha, Arjuna, understand me as the one who is the eternal seed in all beings. I am the intellect of those that have the capacity to discriminate. I am the brilliance in the brilliant. Viddhi, understand, Mam, me, Parameshwara, as the Bija, seed, Sarvabhutanam, in all living beings. The sense in which Bija is used here is different from the sense in which Yoni was used previously when Bhagavan said, Etat Yonini Bhutani Sarvani, this Prakriti of mine is the cause of everything. Here, Bija is the seed form of any living being. Each tree has its own seed, which is the essence that makes it a given tree and not any other. Similarly, every animal and human being is so because of a particular seed. That biological source is me, Ishvara, and the laws that make it possible are also me. When a seed is planted, it sprouts within a given time. The biological law that causes the sprouting of the seed is myself. As pointed out earlier, here Krishna is not talking about the general cause for the creation. Within the creation, there is a further cause for creation. The final cause is also me. Then he says Sanatana, eternal. Sanatana can go with Mam, me, the one who is eternal, the seed of all beings. It can also be an adjective to Bija, but that would make it the general cause, which cannot be the meaning here. Though such a meaning is possible, it is not appropriate in the context. Therefore, the meaning is, please understand that the eternal me, Parameshwara, is indeed the Bija, the seed of every living being. This is in keeping with the flow of the unfoldment. Similarly, the statement Buddhihi Buddhimatam Asmi, this removes any ahankara. Buddhimats are those who have the capacity to discriminate. Not all living beings have an intellect. So, Buddhimatam means among the human beings. Each one has an intellect, a buddhi, because of which he is called Buddhimat. That buddhi, the rational capacity or the free will, is the Lord. Therefore, if there is a person who can think properly, that accomplishment in terms of intellectual discipline is me. That capacity itself is me. Therefore, nobody can say that I am Buddhimat. That Aham can only be Parameshwara. Tejasvinam Aham. Tejas means the shine of health or brilliance. Among the brilliant people, I am the brilliance. He has already said I am the buddhi, intellectual capacity in the human beings who are capable of thinking. If so, why do only some become brilliant? It is true that everybody is buddhimat, but the person who makes an effort is the one who becomes brilliant, who becomes educated. The brilliance that he is able to tap within himself is also me. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharadashabha. Cha and Bharadashabha, O foremost in the clan of Bharata, Arjuna, Balavatam, of the strong people, Kama Raga Vivajitam, that which is free from desire and attachment, Balam, the strength, Bhuteshu, in the beings, Dharma Aviruddhaha, that which is not opposed to Dharma, Kamaha, desire, Aham Asmi, I am. Arjuna, the foremost in the clan of Bharata, in the strong I am the strength, that is free from desire and attachment. In all beings I am the desire that is not opposed to Dharma. Balam Balavatam Asmi, I am the strength of the strong people. Developing physical strength requires dedication because strength is a potential which can be brought to manifestation. And what is potential is Ishvara. So the strength that is developed is Bhagavan. People are not born with large biceps. They work for them. Even the free will required to accomplish this is Bhagavan. Therefore, that strength which is latent in people and is manifest in the Balavat, the strong, the strength because of which he is called Balavat, that strength I am. So, the person who is strong cannot say, I am strong unless I am is Ishvara. Ishvara is not simply any Bala, but a Bala that is devoid of Kama and Raga. Kama Raga Vivajjitam Balam Aham Asmi. Generally, Kama is a word that covers Raga Dvesha. But here, Kama and Raga are mentioned separately. So, we need to look at the meaning differently. Here, Kama is a desire to accomplish what you do not have, and Raga is an attachment to what you have. In his commentary on this verse, Shankara says that Kama is a longing for objects which are not with you, which are away from you, and therefore to be accomplished by you. Raga is an attachment to objects which are already gained by you. Here Bhagavan is saying the strength in the strong that is without Kama and Raga is me. This has to be mentioned with reference to strength. Earlier he said, I am the Buddhi of Buddhimat, the Tejas of the Tejasvi, the Tapas of the Tapasvi. There he did not qualify those with any adjective. But here when it comes to strength, a condition is mentioned because where there is strength, there can always be abuse. Kama and Raga signify Ahankara. Therefore, it is strength that is free from Ahankara. Even though it is not specifically mentioned, this can apply everywhere. If somebody has brilliance, it should also be Kama Raga Vivajjidam. Kama and Raga are centered on Ahankara, ego. So, what is there without the misappropriation of the Ahankara is naturally Bhagavan. When ego is present, it sullies everything. If Bhagavan is not appreciated, the person with strength becomes a source of fear. If he has strength and also Kama and Raga, he is no longer Ishvara. He becomes a ruffian. If there is a strong man who does not have Kama and Raga, you will see only Ishvara. It is true even in music. If someone has a gift for music but has the sense that I am a musician, then one cannot enjoy his music. The Ahankara vitiates the beauty, and to the extent that he does not have Ahankara, one can enjoy his music. What's the meaning of vitiates?
Vitiates means it spoils. Vitiates.
Here Bhagavan says, understand me to be the very strength in the people who are strong and free from Ahankara. Even in the people who have Ahankara, the strength is I, but it is not visible. A strong person can be a great support because if one has the protection of a strong man, one is fearless. But if he has Kama and Raga, he becomes a source of fear. Therefore, strength with Ahankara is dangerous, which is why Krishna tells this here. In fact, the whole thing is to remove Ahankara. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu kamosmi Bharadashaba. O Bharadashaba, the foremost in the clan of Bharata, the living beings, I am the desire that is not against Dharma, said Krishna. We always hear that desires should be removed. It is not possible. Krishna says, Aham Kamaha Asmi. I am the very desire. Kama, desire, is a Shakti, a power without which there would be no creation. Therefore, Kamosmi, I am that very form of desire. And what should this desire be like? It should be Dharma Aviruddha, unopposed to Dharma. There you can see Ishvara. Suppose a person is free from Ahankara, but has talents, skills, wisdom and so on, and no desire to do anything. They just remain inside. The person neither has a desire to talk, nor a desire to write, much less a desire to share. Suppose the person does not have those desires, because he or she need not have desires, then Bhagavan has to say, I am the silence in the silent people. But the person can also have desires because Desire itself does not bind. Therefore, Krishna says that he is Dharma Aviruddha Kama. Dharma is in keeping with the Shastra and in keeping with the universal order of ethics. The desire that is in keeping with Dharma is the beauty of Bhagavan. It is the expression of Bhagavan. Anything beautiful has come out of such a desire. This is what we call Icha Shakti.
Somebody is calling. Yes.
This is what we call Icha Shakti, the power of desiring, which is part of Maya Shakti. So, in all beings, any desire that is unopposed to Dharma is I. Previously, the Lord indicated that Jnana Shakti when he said he is Buddhi in the Buddhimat and Tejas in the Tejasvi. That Jnana Shakti is Bhagavan. He also said that he is Bala in the Balavat. This Bala indicates Kriya Shakti, which is also Bhagavan. Here, Icha Shakti is referred to, and that also is Bhagavan. Krishna had said that I am the desire which is not against Dharma. If a desire is against Dharma, it belongs to the Jiva. Even though the Jiva is not separate from Ishvara, for the time being, we are giving the Jiva a free will, since the desires and the desire prompted activities which are against Dharma definitely belong to the Jiva. They are not Ishvara. Concluding this particular section, using cha to connect, Krishna says, one Nimsham, Swamiji, the silent, I am the silence in the silent people. He says now, 2 paragraphs before, that means those people, they have no desire to talk about anything that they have accomplished or they want to accomplish. Is it like that?
No. Basically, what he is talking about is something like Ramana Maharshi was silent.
I thought
So, if somebody chooses to be silent, the silence in the silent people, even though they are have a lot of vibhuti and all that, suppose they desire to share and do things, they could have done a lot of things. But they choose to silence, so the silence in the silent people are also me. Because there is no, that is also a vibhuti. To be silent is also, by being silent, many people have said that when people went and sat in front of Ramana Maharshi, because of his being silent also, they have learnt a lot. Those things people say. Yes. So the silence in silent people, that vibhuti also is me. Bhagavan says that. That's what he says.
So, but there are some people I have seen, they will not talk about any of their success. They are very modest. They will only others will sometimes won't know after meeting them.
The modesty is a vibhuti. Modesty is a vibhuti, is a glory in the sense Vinaya, Vidya, Vinaya Sampanne, they say, no? The Vinayam also is a vibhuti only that comes out of their, the sense they say, no, that Nerai Kodam Talumbadana. So, something like that. It is a question of a calmness, a sort of sense of contentment, because of which they feel so complete, they don't need to talk about it. That is how it is. So, that contentment also comes out of the vibhuti. That is also Bhagavan's vibhuti only. That's what he is trying to say. Both the contentment in people who are achievers and people who choose to be silent in spite of knowing many things, both are me only. That is what he says. All glories belong to Bhagavan. The idea is, the whole thing is, all glories, anything that is very sane and positive is belonging to the fundamentally Purnam Vastu, the being. So that is, once you are able to appreciate that, thereafter, whatever changing that happens, that activities, that events and all that, you will be able to appreciate that they are only an appearance. They are not, the reality is the vibhuti, the silent, the contented, the purnatvam is the reality, and all the vibhutis belong to that reality. Everything else is only a changing appearance. Both the things simultaneously you are able to see in life. Anything that is changing because of the expression of the capability of the reality. But the reality is changeless per se. So both the things you have to appreciate simultaneously. That is what I have mentioned in that write-up. If you appreciate simultaneously, that is called sahaja tadatmiyam, which I have mentioned there in that article which I have sent. Sahaja tadatmiyam is seeing that the Ishvara's vibhuti and the changing simultaneously. If you miss one of them, you will feel bhranti tadatmiyam, you will assume things. Then you will start comparing. I am better than him. You will feel the differentiation, the fragmentation in society or between people or between alienation from Ishvara. All these things happen because of the Bhranti. Bhranti meaning misunderstanding. You are not able to see simultaneously the Sahajam, the Ishvara Srishti and the changing. The changing is the what you call, it is how the Purnatvam of the changeless being expresses. You can call it Maya, or you can, if you don't understand it, it is called Avidya. If you understand, it is Maya Shakti, Ishvara Shakti. If you don't understand, then your smallness comes into play. Then you will feel fearful of the other. Then we will start comparing, contrasting, we will try to be one above the other, then adharma will come in. That is how it comes. Otherwise there is no reason. Once a person is contented, once you are able to understand the sahaja tadatmyam, once you are able to be alert to that, there won't be any adharma in his life. That is why he said dharma aviruddha kamosmi. You have no problem of doing things or not doing things. Either way you can do. But at all the times it should be dharma aviruddha. You should not have an agenda against dharma. That agenda itself comes because of the fragmentation, because of your lack of sahaja tadatmyam, because of your bhranti tadatmyam, that I am different from the other person. So this understanding has to be very yathartham, sahajama. Every day, even during the waking hours, okay, initially you can do it as a practice, abhyasa, meditation, all those things, but later it should become part of your life. Spontaneity should be there. And so that any time situation, it is not that you will act rashly and then repent it later or try to correct it later. Simultaneously, as you are able to get into, as you get into a situation, you will be able to appreciate and act, be alert. The apramatta will come. That alertness will be there all the time. Because you are conscious all the time of the reality. So that is what it is. The whole life is one of, initially it is tapasvi. That is why he says tapasvi. So tapasvi stages also me only. That's what he says. But it all becomes part of it. Tapasvi doesn't make a great effort. Bhagavan does not have to make a great effort to be a tapasvi. It is niswasitam eva. It's something like muchavadramadi. So that is how it should be for us also. That is what we are trying to do, because that is a understanding, that is a reality, that is our reality, that is what we will be happy with. We are self-conscious and self-judging because the self-judging part because of the differentiation, whereas self-conscious is oneness. That is our reality. We are simultaneously having both self-consciousness and self-judging. But animals do not have that. They don't have self-conscious, so they don't self-judge. They live their life the way in which they want and they go. Whereas we want to be complete. Purnatvam is our reality. At the same time, we are judging because we assume ourselves to be of my body, mind, ego, etc., and try to be one above the other. It cannot work that way. If your reality is Purnatvam, the self-conscious being, you have to understand that and own it up and ensure that everything else is only for vyavahara. And that too, for the purpose of getting things done, actually because in a society when you may be understanding, the other person may not be that understanding. So he will do, you will have to respond. When you respond, you have to respond from the Purnatvam which you have. Since you are Purna inside, you will respond what is appropriate. You will not try to do something because he does, you will not react, you will only respond. Even if you lose something, you won't mind because you know that you are Purna, you are not losing anything. Okay, that fellow wants to have, let him have it. You will not be competitive, you will be contributory in society. That is how it is. That is where the difference is. The difference between a drama and real life is, in drama everyone knows the role. Here you know the role, you are only playing the role. But other person may think that role is me. So he will try to overpower you. So sometimes that is why they say in compassion, you must be willing to be vulnerable. Vulnerable meaning you know very well the other person is doing something wrong. But at the same time, you will not do something wrong to counter him. You will allow it, okay, you will try to explain to him, but if he doesn't agree, fine, so be it, Bhavan Bhakta. So you will not transgress dharma, even in terms of adverse situation. That is why there is a lot of stories, like some, they were like Rama, everyone, for the dharma paripalana, even though Kaikeyi might have done something wrong, but the Rama stuck by Pitruvakya Paripalana. Like that, in the sense, we will not transgress because we know that we are Purnam as it is, irrespective of whatever is happening around me. Adula Satyam Erpadanam. That is why we are going through this. In the sense, we want to own up the reality of our being, irrespective of what is happening around us. That is the objective of the whole thing. That is what he is trying to say. That the whole vibhuti, in the sense, once you are owning up that reality, then that becomes you, everything becomes a vibhuti. Whatever is happening around you, everything is a vibhuti. In the sense, it is only your glory that is expressed. Even the others, neighbors' success is also your glory only. Because you are Purnatvam. You are owning up that Purnatvam. That is how he is explaining that. We have to appreciate it and we have to see the reality of it. That is what the Tvampadartha we have done in the 6 chapters. Now we are getting in the 7th chapter. Bhagavan says that whatever I have explained to you as Tvampadartha, the Purnatvam, is me only. He says that. Whatever explained as you till now is now he says it's me. So what else? What else we need? So let us read through that, yeah.
Swamiji, the
Yeah.
In actual meaning,
Tadatmyam means Sarisamama irukkiradhu solrom illaya. Tadatmyam.
Nama parlansla Tadatmyam therinju palaganum appadiyumba.
Yes, that's what I am telling. Tadatmyam means the reality. Reality therinju palaganum. Appadi நம்ம language la irukku, culture la irukku. But we really don't understand what it means.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, the Sahajam irukku. நம்ம language Sahajam is always there. Sahajama irukkanum means what? You have to understand that the reality that there is only one being, everything is only an expression of that reality. There is no real fragmentation, there is no difference between you and me. It is only for the purpose of transaction. You are there, I am here, that's all. Whereas the being in both of us is not the same. That is Sahaja Tadatmya. Once we have that understanding, then there will not be any fragmentation. Then I will not try to be greater than you, you will not try to be greater than me. Then everything dharma will follow, whatever is appropriate to the given situation. But it may not happen with the people who are not understanding, right? When we are talking, it's fine. But in the society, when we are moving around, others may not understand that. In that situation, you have to respond. You have to respond from your position of dharma only. You cannot transgress dharma because the other fellow is like that. That is where the tapas comes, that is where the alertness, apramatta comes. That is where your understanding of that reality comes. How far you have understood. Because that is where eventually if you live like that, eventually you will feel that your life is complete. You will not, since you will feel that the purpose of your life is done. But once you give in to the fragilities of life, like we have been living all along, trying to be competitive, trying to be one of the other and all that, there is endless. It is that way you are not going to be a satisfied person. It may appear that today you have won the battle, but you will eventually lose the war of life in terms of contentment. Because contentment, ultimate contentment is the objective of life. That contentment will come in only owning up the reality. Sahaja Tadatmyam alone will serve, not Bhranti Tadatmyam. Bhranti Tadatmyam சொல்லும்போது நமக்கு ஈஸியாக புரியுது in the context. But when we go and live in the society, we don't understand. We don't differentiate between what is Bhranti and what is Sahajam. அங்கதான் alertness வேணும். That is where continuously we keep listening to it, doing mananam, reflecting on this and contemplating on this. Shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam helps us to root ourselves into our reality. Then that becomes, after some time, becomes Sahajam. And that is high time we do that. Since all of us, in our advanced age, we must be able to live that life. And so that we pass on that vibhuti to the next generation also. When they see the elders calm and quiet in spite of adverse situations, they will also pick it up. This is how we have to grow into. They will think, they will understand. Yeah.
Prashant, you want to read? Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasasta masaschaya
Rajasas tamasascha ye. Rajasaha tamasahascha ye. Both the qualities are mentioned. Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasas tamasascha ye. Atta ye tan vidhi natvaham teshu temayi. Yeah.
Atta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu temayi.
I can read Appa.
Yeah, read.
Ye chaiva satvika bhava rajasasta masascha ye matta ye veti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mayi. Ye cha, and those, eva indeed, satvikaha born of sattva, bhavaha beings and things, yecha and those, rajasaha born of rajas, cha and tamasaha born of tamas, tan them, matta eva from me alone, iti tas, vidhi may you know, te mayi they are in me, tu but na aham I am not, teshu in them. Those beings and things which we are indeed born of sattva, rajas and tamas, may you know them to be born from me alone. They are in me, but I am not in them. Echa eva satvikaha bhavaha, those things which are born purely of sattva. Desires which are sattvika in nature, like a desire to know, are born of sattva. If the antakarana consists of three qualities, sattva, rajas and tamas, sattva accounts for anything noble, anything in keeping with dharma. Even experiences like sukha, happiness and shanti, tranquility are born of sattva. Right attitudes, devotion, prayer are sattvikaha bhavaha. Those which are born of rajas like ambition, dislike, anger and so on are rajasa. And those which are tamasa in nature are born of tamas. Or we can take it this way, ye bhavaha can mean those living beings, sattvikas can mean those which are born of sattva like the devatas. In this case it would mean predominantly sattva. The rakshasas and so on are born of predominantly rajas. Similarly, tamasas can mean those who are born of predominantly tamas. such as the animals. Then we have the human beings who are sattva, rajas and tamas put together. This accounts for all types of beings. We can take ye bhavaha as those who are predominantly sattvika or rajasa or tamasa. Swamiji, these people who try to, finish, I have to finish these many slokas, they run with time and they try to finish. Can we call them as Rajasa because they are ambitious enough to finish that particular part?
But one thing is there, when they explain this Sattva, Rajas, Tamas and all that, they say, don't use it to categorize people or label people. It is only explained with the idea to that all these qualities, in the sense, it is how the Prakriti is a model. Again, it's only a model by which the different attitudes, different qualities are described. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. It is only a model. So, but don't try to label people on with these fellows, Tamasic, these fellows. No. All of us, when we sleep, we are Tamas. When we are active, we are Rajas. That is why he says, it is there in all the three. All the three is there in every one of them. But in categorizing, like animals can be more of tamas, and devas can be more of sattva, and human being a mixture of all the three. So that is one way of categorizing. But amongst ourselves, we should not categorize some fellow as just because he is sleeping all the time, we can't call him tamasic person. Swamiji will say, he may be a tamasic person, but he is also able to eat food with his hand. That means to that extent he is intelligent. So you can't call him tamasic person. He is eating with his hand only. No, he is not eating with his leg. So he is not that much of sattva. So every one of us, it is a combination of sattva, rajas, tamas. The predominance can be changing depending on your samskara and all that. But don't try to use it to label people, but understand, and it can be there within you. In the sense, how to improve your own sattva level, how to reduce your tamasic level. For your own improvement and growth, you can use that, but not to label others. It is very important. Yeah.
People and the various beings are born out of their own karma. It being so, they are born of me because the very karma is me. The law of karma is also me. And further, the cause for everything is me, so nothing is separate from me. To be born, you require a physical body, and for that you require the 5 gross elements. These are also me. You require subtle elements because without them there would be no subtle body, nor would there be any gross elements. And the subtle elements are also born of Ishvara. To be born with a given body, all these are required. Therefore, there is nothing that is away from me. All of them are me. I provide the upadana, material for all of them. So, according to your own karma, whatever form you take, whether it is tamasa or sattvika form, that form is non-separate from me. Even though they are born of me, natu aham teshu, I however am not in them. It means I am not under their control. Since they are born of me, I do not depend upon their existence. It is similar to how the existence of clay does not depend on the existence of pot. So, Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa are in me, all depend entirely upon me, upon my laws. They are born according to my laws, and the laws are me. Since everything is me, they entirely depend upon me to exist, to breathe. They require air, which is me. They require water, which is me. They require fire, which is me. They require earth, food, that is me. So they all depend entirely upon me, but I am not in their hands. You are able to hear me clearly, right, Swamiji?
Yeah, yes.
Because I am getting notification that my microphone is not working correctly. So that's why I asked.
No.
Here, Shankara gives an introduction to the next verse. Even though this is how it is, I am the taste in water, the strength in the strong, the desire itself, one from whom the Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa are born. Even though nothing is separate from me, the world of people does not recognize me, Parameshwara. Who is that Parameshwara? Shankara tells me that he is Parama as well as Ishvara. Parama indicates the Swarupa of Ishvara. Whenever we use the word Parameshwara, it covers both the Swarupa of the Lord as well as his status of being Sarvakarana, the cause of everything. Why do we say Sarvakarana? In the world, we draw a line and delineate different causes. Physical bodies are born of physical elements. Therefore, the physical elements are the cause for the physical bodies. The physical elements themselves are products of subtle elements, and the subtle elements become the causes. In this way, we keep on tracing the cause. From the standpoint of a product, we can trace the cause elsewhere, and that cause again is a product for which the karana cause is elsewhere. Since there are many karanas in this world, we have to use the word sarva karana for the cause of all. Sarva karana is Ishvara.
See, the sarva part of it, we have seen that before. Like clay pot example, if you look at it, pot is only name and form, clay is also name and form, silica also name and form, fire, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen also name and form, the concept also is name and form. Finally, the consciousness, conscious being, the awareful being alone is a reality. That is a swarupa. Everything else is name and form. That is called sarva. The sarva means it is a changing thing. That is why I always said upadana means upadi. Upadi means what? It is less lower upadi. Upadi means upadai, Tamil, we know. It is a defect. But since it is a Ishvara's, see, the fact is we are dealing with all this, even though we got these examples in life, his name and form is a reality, but we are dealing with it. It is available for Vyavahara, it is available for modification, it is available for empirical reproducibility. Day after day we are dealing with it. Because of that, we give a Swakale Satyavad Bhati, which we have explained before. In the sense, it is available. Swakale Satyavad. It is not real, but appears. That unique status is called Mithya. Mithya is, it is Asat, there is one Tamil Paramadi. Asatna Uttra Mudiyadu, Satna Adika Mudiyadu. In the sense, something like that they will say about that. So Sat Asatyam Anirvachaniyam is called Mithya. You cannot say it is Sat because Sat is only Swarupa. You cannot say Asat because you are dealing with it day to day. So it is an in-between status. Sat Asatyam Anirvachaniyam Mithya. That is what he is talking about, the Sarva. The Sarva part of it is Mithya, which we have discussed before. But in terms of explaining the Jagat and Ishvara, the whole thing, like all the Panchabhuta, Pancha Pramana, air, Vayu, everything, and the elements and elementals, all are available for Vyavahara. So that he is explaining in detail. It is called Sarva and it is called Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. They are all elements. Sattva is subtle elements. Dross is Tamas and Rajas. Like that he is explaining various ways. It's all model. But what you have to see through is, he is explaining, he is validating the reality which we are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. What is its cause, what is its Swarupa, what is Swabhava. We must be able to differentiate and see. When we go through this, when we understand all this, we will not be overwhelmed by what is happening around. The idea is to understand the reality of all these things in its own place and time, so that we are alert to that. We are alert to that. We are dealing with all these things every day. We must validate it for its own presence, but at the same time, the reality of it you must be aware of, so that you don't get overwhelmed, so that you don't do anything undue. You don't go away from Dharma. Like Bhagavan, like Krishna. That is why it is easy to say Krishna Janaka Deha. To be like Krishna, you have to have his understanding. For that he is explaining. Okay, yeah.
Ishvara Swarupa is ever pure, eternal, enlightened and limitless. Then what is Parama? Ishvara Swarupa. It is to be understood here. Shankara says that Ishvara Swarupa is Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava. It is an expression often used by Shankara when he wants to reveal the Swarupa of Atma, which is Para. The word Para always qualifies.
In this same sentence, he started, Shankara says that Ishvara Swarupa. He starts like that, and when he wants to reveal the Swarupa of Atma, which is Para. The same sentence, Ishvara and Atma are equated. Without our knowledge, they are bringing in the equation. Ishvara and Atma are one and the same. Atma we can understand here and now, all of us. We understand Atma. And that is the same as Ishvara Swarupa. That is the beauty of this whole teaching. You must be able to relate it that way. Yeah.
Actually, Swamiji, considering the fact that Bhagavad Gita here is explaining Parama, Krishna, Ishvara as everything as one thing, we should not be having Upanyasakars doing separately in a different way and this people doing differently. It should all be the original text.
That is all the problem of the, what you call, in the sense, the religion in the medieval period, 750 years back. There was no word called religion, honestly. There was only Sanatana, Dharma. The religion itself came as a competition because somebody else started Christianity, somebody else started Islam. Then to differentiate, we call ourselves Hindu religion. Religion is not a correct word at all. It is only Dharma. There is only universal, Manava Dharma, meant for human beings. That is where it all started. But as you say, and once you start like that, everyone has their own Upanyasakas, everything. It's all got vitiated. Better we don't talk about it because it may hurt people. But we have to know what is the reality and stick to it. That is what we are trying to do now. Yeah.
The word para always qualifies either Atma or Brahman. Nitya is an important word to be understood properly. That which always is called Nitya. If it always is, it is outside the scope of time. This is what we mean by eternal. Atma is Nitya, eternal. The word Nitya alone points out the nature of Atma and also accompanies all the other words here. Nitya also serves as an adjective to Shuddha, pure. And Shuddha is the Swarupa of Atma, which is Nitya. Because it is Nitya, it does not become pure, nor is it subject to becoming impure. Therefore, he says Nitya Shuddha. Shuddha here means that which is free from bondage, free from samsara, free from punya, papa and papa karma. Then he says Nitya Buddha, always enlightened. In fact, Nitya Buddha means never bound at all. Buddha means the one who is enlightened. If we say he is enlightened, it implies that there was a time when he was not enlightened. If he got enlightened, it is an event that took place at a given time, but here Atma is Nitya Buddha. When a person says he is enlightened, he only recognizes the fact that he is always enlightened. Therefore, Nitya Buddha expresses the fact that Atma is always enlightened. Since the source of bondage is ignorance, one who is Nitya Buddha is naturally Nitya Mukta, always free. Somewhere we've heard this, no? Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Niravadya, Nirandara.
Beginning it came. 6th chapter.
Wherever Shankara Bhashyam comes, he will explain Atma, Brahman only as Nitya Buddha, Shuddha, Mukta, Swarupa. Like that only he will say. He is a very famous, it is his very pet combination. Yeah.
Are these Swarupas qualities? Qualities. Are these Swarupas qualities?
I is missing there. Yeah.
Swami, can we stop here or we finish verse 13?
Okay. I think we will just read through. It's all the same thing only. We read through till verse 13. Thereafter we'll stop. Yeah.
We have some.
We can finish now. Let him finish.
Another one page. Come on, let us go.
Are these Swarupas qualities? If we look upon Nityatva, Suddhatva, Muktatva as qualities, then the enlightened person may be considered to have these qualities. Any object has its own qualities, because of which we call it an apple or by some other name. Unlike Atma, an object does not have Nityatva, Shuddhatva and Muktatva. If these were qualities, then Atma would be another subject which has attributes of Nityatva.
Object.
Yeah.
If these were qualities, then Atma would be another object which has attributes of Nityatva, Shuddhatva and Muktatva. It would become another substantive enjoying its own qualities. What do you mean by another substantive?
In the sense, they are not they are not adjectives. Nityatva, Shuddhatva, Muktatva are not adjectives to Atma. They are the Swarupa, Lakshana. Lakshana meaning defining word, unique definition by which will not apply to anything else. So they are not adjective. They are, what he means is that it is not an adjective qualifying a substantive. It is the substantive itself per se. That's what he says. You should not look at it in the normal language that these are all attributes of Atma. Like that you should not think that way. That's why he is explaining it that way. They are all the realities of Atma. Yeah.
It would become another substantive enjoying its own qualities. It is not the case. Atma is not a locus in which qualities reside. When you identify an apple as sweet or red, you recognize those qualities in the particular object which you call apple. If you identify a green leaf, then the leaf is seen and its color green is seen abiding in or qualifying that leaf. Similarly, when you realize Atma, will you see in the Atma Nityatva and so on, like you see the green in the leaf? No, you will not see these qualities. A word like Nitya is not a quality, it is a Lakshana. Lakshana, a word that negates and retains part of its own meaning. So Swamiji, if we see someone angry, we should say he is a Lakshana, who is his anger he's having, like that we should see, is it? Like,
no. See, that's what he says. If you understand the Swarupa of that person, that Swarupa of that person is only Nitya, Suddha, Bhukta, Mukta. Anger and other things is part of his personality. It has nothing to do with Swarupa. So, all those relative words are only applicable to only a Swabhava or a name and form like apple and all that. It is not applicable to Atma, Brahman or Swarupa. Only for Swabhava all these things are applicable. That's what he is trying to say. So don't mix it up, because there is the same word which we are used to in dealing with normal matters. We are using the same words to explain Atma, Paramatma and all that. That is where they have to keep on telling us, don't think that way, it is Lakshana, it is not Vachyartha, it is Lakshyartha. It is not a quality, it is differentiating, it is a reality. That's what he keep on telling that, yeah.
Okay. Nitya is used to reveal that the nature of Atma is not time-bound, Anitya. Everything that we know is Anitya, therefore the word Nitya becomes a Lakshana to reveal the Swarupa of Atma. Atma being self-evident and self-effulgent, we only have to negate the erroneously superimposed attributes like Anityatva, etc. And this is done by the word Nitya, which becomes a Lakshana. The meaning of the word is retained. Any attribute which is time-bound is negated by the word Nitya. Similarly, Shuddha negates impurities such as Raga Dveshas and Punya Papa Karmas, while the word Buddha negates ignorance as well as inertness. Atma is not inert, it is consciousness, and bondage is negated by saying Atma is Mukta. Swamiji, in our life, we are always, for example, if you take me, I am always filled with Raga Dveshas in office. So it is good to be 60 years of your life with Raga Dvesha. Some people don't retire, they remain in office until 85 years in their life. So they will always have Raga Dveshas. So why does they kind of put Raga Dveshas as something negative, Swamiji?
No. See, it is not a question of putting it as negative and all that. Are you happy with your Raga Dvesha? Then a Vedanti will not disturb you. Be happy, they will say. Dirga Yushman Bhava. We will leave you like that. But after some time, you will come back again. I am not happy. That time only we will start. See, if you are happy with your Raga Dvesha, nobody will disturb you. But you are not happy. It is not your reality. That is where the problem is. The whole thing starts. The inquiry starts when you are not happy with what you have. Your Raga Dvesha is not a reality. It is unreal. That is why you will not be content with it. Someday or other you will find disenchanted with the whole life. So that time you will come back. So that is not a question of whether Shastra is not negating Raga Dvesha, but Raga Dvesha is not desirable for you, which you will understand once you have a discontent in life. You will come to find out what is contentment. That time automatically this thing will drop off because it has not helped you. Ragadvesha is not a vibhuti. Definitely, because it is not reality. Simple. Anything unreal, you cannot stay with it. What they say is, it will not stand scrutiny. You must have heard this statement. It won't stand scrutiny. You will find the fallacy in it. So you can't hold on to it. It is not a vibhuti. It is something to be checked. If not today, tomorrow. Earlier the better. That's all.
Atma is not inert, it is consciousness, and bondage is negated by saying Atma is Mukta. Each word negates and also retains a part of its own meaning. It negates the status of being a quality but retains the root meaning. This is what we call Lakshana, and the words are given a context to reveal the nature of Atma, which is free from attributes. It is our own Swarupa, and it is the Swarupa, the Atma of all beings, Sarvabhuta Atma. Shankara says the seed of samsara is nothing but ajnana, ignorance. Therefore, knowledge of this Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava Atma is the cause for the burning of all samsara, causes the burning of all samsara. Any knowledge is not going to be different from the Swarupa of the object. So here, knowledge of Atma is not separate from its Swarupa. Naturally then, the very knowledge of Atma becomes the cause for burning of samsara. Shankara continues to say that people do not know this. I, Parameshwara, who is the cause for burning the seed of the defect of the entire samsara. They know me in some form, but they do not know me properly. They have some appreciation that there is a cause. Though I am not separate from them, they do not know me. The following verse, Bhagavan shows the cause of the ignorance of the world.
Yeah, we will read it later. Yeah. So, in the sense, we have discussed all these things in the first 6 chapters also. It's again being repeated only. But it has to get assimilated. Then we will not, till the time, that is why in different ways, Shastra recognizes that. That is why in different ways they are trying to explain. In Tvampadartha they were explaining, now in Tattvadartha Bhagavan is trying to explain. Either way, Atma and Brahman and Ishvara, everything being one and the same. Either way they explain, anyway you will understand. Hopefully you will understand by the time we finish these next 6 chapters. That is the idea.
Appa is immediately putting the background of Krishna, giving the thing to Arjuna, the background.
Video, good.
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamad
Purnamada Purnameva Vasishyate